Now, a show that isn't stupid, well, I mean, it is stupid, but it's intentionally stupid, is James Gunn's Peacemaker, the spinoff to The Suicide Squad, which, according to James Gunn, he has already talked to HBO Max about doing another spinoff of The Suicide Squad. And I'm going, is this different? Is this the same than that other project that you said is reportedly in the works that you've had for a little bit now? Because I remember James Gunn saying he's had another DC project lined up. Is that separate from this than the Suicide Squad spinoff? I'm inclined to say it is different, and he's got multiple projects in the works with HBO Max, which also still kind of leaves me going, well, didn't HBO Max shell out $500 million for J.J. Abrams? When is J.J. going to start doing stuff? Which y'all can come after me for Rise of Skywalker or not, but y'all seem to forget, because you didn't like Rise of Skywalker, that J.J. is still a very competent filmmaker with a lot of good movies under his belt. So I'm still excited to see what J.J. brings to the table. I just think it's weird that we're getting all this James Gunn stuff, but we haven't heard anything about J.J. Abrams' projects lately, and it could be because it wouldn't be unheard of for Warner Brothers well, James Gunn is the hot flavor of the week. So, JJ, you wait a little bit, because Warner Brothers, as we know, is very reactionary.
Unfortunately.
I would not mind another Suicide Squad spinoff, because I like the Suicide Squad so much. And this is also coming off the heels of James Gunn seemingly almost confirming that a Peacemaker season 2 will be happening. He says it hasn't been confirmed yet, but he's like, we have good ratings. People really, really like it. I hope we get a season 2, because I can absolutely see it. I think we've talked about it on the podcast before. Bring in Sportsmaster, because that would be a perfect.
Oh, dude.
That would be a perfect James Gunn character, and especially how he's portrayed in Young Justice would be amazing.
Be straight up real quick, I thought his brother was going to end up being Sportsmaster, and then they were like, oh, no, but he's dead. And I was like, oh, come on! Come on!
So, Josh, if you had to put money on it, if this is a Suicide Squad spinoff, who are we focusing on?
Calendar Man. And the Condiment King. I don't know. I think using the word spinoff would be weird. I don't like. Are we saying we're focusing on one character and going from there, or are we saying because I guess technically Peacemaker is a spinoff of the Suicide.
It is, yeah.
So, I guess I don't know. So, do you maybe you go Bloodsport? That could be fun. I don't know, because the issue is, spoiler, that there's not a lot of people alive by the end of the Suicide Squad. So I don't know. Maybe it's the Adventures of Weasel. Who knows?
Weasel Learns to Swim, the short film.
Dude. Yes.
King Shark.
Yes.
King Shark teaches Weasel to swim. Friend,
No.
paddle.
No, I got it. It's a 4-episode series of King Shark going to college to be able to talk and actually have a proper working mental faculty.
And at the end, he has a Scarecrow and Wizard of Oz moment of he just rattles off some high concept brain stuff,
Yes!
and, a big old long monologue.
Yes.
So, coming out of the Suicide Squad, there was certain people that James Gunn was particularly hyping up. He was hyping up John Cena's Peacemaker a lot, who ended up getting a spinoff, and rightly so, because I'm going to include the Peacemaker series itself in this conversation. I think John Cena's work in the Suicide Squad is his best work to date. Yeah. I think he was outstanding in it. I think he was better in the movie than he's in the show. And I like him in the show. It's good. It's helping to flesh out his character. But I thought he was outstanding in the Suicide Squad. But there's somebody else that James Gunn was really hyping up that I could see him being really attached to this character and trying to spin it into their own series that would fit perfectly with his taste. And that's Ratcatcher 2. I can absolutely see him going that route. I could see HBO Max kind of going, we don't know what we want to do with Harley Quinn right now because Birds of Prey didn't really live up to our financial expectations. Yeah. The first Suicide Squad with Harley Quinn didn't do as well either. So I think they're still kind of figuring out what they want to do with Harley Quinn. And I think Margot Robbie's still kind of from everything I'm hearing, Margot Robbie's like on the fence if she's coming back or not. Depends on how they're utilizing her. Whereas Ratcatcher, I could see Ratcatcher being used. I think that was a huge breakout role for, I think is, oh, what is the actress's name? It's like Danielle Melchior or something similar to that. Kind of like how Ana de Armas got a big breakout role in Knives Out. Of like
Yeah.
a lot of people going, "Wow, who is this? She's fantastic." I could see a Ratcatcher maybe showing more of her and Taika Waititi. Oh yes, because Taika Waititi also has a working relationship with HBO Max of Our Flag Means Death, the pirate comedy that's coming out soon. That he's directing the pilot episode for that, and will be Blackbeard on. So he's got a working relationship with HBO Max. My guess is on Ratcatcher. If this show's happening, from the way James Gunn phrased it, this is the show that he's pitching to HBO Max that hasn't been greenlit yet, but there's some other project that is actually happening that he is working on, which I wouldn't be surprised if we find out what that is at the end of Peacemaker season 1, of like this other show dovetails out of Peacemaker.
Yeah.
Hey, that just happened to work out. Wow.
Yeah, it did.
Subliminal messaging there. Wow. I'm still of the opinion that, I don't know, I forget where I heard this, but this is a while back and I can't get it out of my brain, that he's going to introduce Green Arrow at some point, and that's an obscure enough character. And boy, it's weird that CW's Arrow just happened to be finished a few years ago. Now, granted, they're not as stingy with their characters as they used to be, of like, well, you can't have this character, like how the Suicide Squad got pulled from all Arrow episodes because they're doing a Suicide Squad movie. Like, they're not stingy with that anymore.
Yeah.
But you never know. Again, this show isn't confirmed yet, but according to James Gunn, it's heavily being considered right now to do another Suicide Squad spinoff. Would you want a Ratcatcher series, or there's other characters from the squad that you'd be more interested in? Polka Dot Man show when?
I mean, but he's dead, so it kind of sucks.
It's a prequel.
Like,
it's about his mom.
how terrifying would that be? How
It's
him and
psycho.
dude, it's like a one-off series of how him and his sister Patchwork got caught. And like that's why they're how they got to do. It'd be I don't know. It could be interesting. Actually, real quick, sorry. Yeah, I would love Ratcatcher. I'm not sure if you don't do a prequel. I don't know what else you do. Mainly that's because I don't know much about the character herself, so it's a little hard for me to imagine where they would go with her. But yeah, no, I just had the idea of like if it's a spinoff, sure. What if it's just basically an anthology series of them going through Belle Reve and telling, and each convict basically giving a story / adventure of how they got caught or something, which could be like that's a good way to flesh your world out, a good
And
way
also,
to like introduce people.
Shine a light on the obscure characters like he does. I like that idea. Just call it Belle Rev, and it's
Yeah,
you got a Calendar Man episode, you got a Polka Dot Man episode, which I don't know why, but when you said what direction do you take with a Ratcatcher series, I don't know why, but my brain immediately goes to Pied Piper, which
I hate you.
for those people that don't know, Pied Piper in the comics more or less is like it is in the story. He's a musician, so that could work. Maybe someone that could also control her own rats. I don't know. But I really like your Belle Rev idea. I kind of want that now. Get as weird as humanly possible. Introduce like Anarchy, Condiment King. We got a Kite Man reference on Peacemaker.
That makes me so happy. Oh my gosh.
Batmite spinoff series.
Dude, I'm still blown away that they just casually dropped that in Peacemaker.
And then gave his actual like background history. Like, he's an interdimensional being.
He's an interdimensional imp that's a stand for Batman. I was like, what? Okay, cool. I'm very curious to see where Peacemaker goes, and I think by the time this season ends, we'll probably get a better idea of what this project might be or what some of the other projects might be. So, who knows?